Hey guys, this week's episode is brought to you by buffalosbigdeal.com. What's the big deal? It's free. Their deals get you 50% off your favorite local places. No need to pay for a gift certificate. Simply download, print, and display your voucher when you visit. So head to buffalosbigdeal.com after this podcast. Today's guest is Brian Mietus, the chef and part owner of Bacchus Wine Bar. Brian came down, talked about owning a restaurant, his humble beginnings working at a hot dog stand, and his views on mentoring young cooks.
I was going to ask you actually, what is your normal routine after a shift at Bacchus? Because when you said you could come here at 9, I was like, oh man, I didn't know if you have because I've talked to other chefs. And they have
where would I usually be going?
Yeah, where
right
would
now?
you normally be going? Yeah, after
I'd be going home. Yeah, my usual deal is I have a family, so I live in Lewiston.
Oh man, that's a drive.
It is, it's not too bad. It's a half hour.
No.
And
I'm finally going out there Friday for Carmelo's.
Carmelo's, dude, you haven't been to Carmelo's?
No,
you're gonna love it. I think.
Yeah. I love the area. I've gone.
I feel like I know your
my palate.
Yeah, your palate. I think that's right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah,
Lewiston's a half hour away. I don't know. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean it's gorgeous out there. We've gone out there for our.
I mean, I'm a city kid though.
Yeah,
I grew up in Buffalo, and my wife's from that neighborhood, so.
Yeah.
It's taken me a little while, but I've warmed up to it.
The quiet and the...
Yeah, it's not... I mean, I shouldn't say that. I've been living in resorts and ski towns.
Yeah,
I've been small town USA for a while, but... I don't know, something about when you come home, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nice.
But Carmelo is hitting on all cylinders over there. Him and Bruce. We have Thursday nights our date night, and that's where we go.
Oh, yeah?
It's funny, too, because we don't want to go too far.
Yeah.
And we would trade out, we'd be like, well, we can go to Water Street for a drink because it's nice around there.
Yeah.
But you can't, we'll have dinner there. And
Yeah.
But we just wind up at Carmelo's every time.
Nice. So. And I love Hibbard's, too. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah, for sure. My kids love Hibbard's, and it's the ultimate, the ultimate, we can bribe you into doing anything.
Oh, that's what you get them to, your chores and all that?
We'll get Hibbard's, just, we'll go over there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I actually, before this, I watched your video that you did with Nate for the last Nickel City Chef.
Oh, with Nate. Yeah.
And I saw that you grew up... your mom or your parents owned Curt's Stop-In over on Route 5.
On Route 5 by, now Woody's is out there.
Yeah, Woody's is killing it out there.
But we were back there in the day, back in, 84, 85.
Wow.
Yeah, when it was just the Ford plant. And whatever.
So was that your foray into the cooking world?
Yep. Well, I was 15.
Yeah.
And my mom... had the hot dog stand.
You know what I mean? So it was pretty natural that you're gonna be working back there.
Yeah. So, but I was awesome. I would handle the lunch rush pretty good.
Nice.
And, they had it was really nice actually. It's funny, we laugh about it, and Krista always talks about me being coming from Curt Stop-In, and it's in my bio or whatever. So anytime Bert Gambini grabs a mic, we hear about Kurt's, but. The truth is, it really did kind of set, the precedent for me because my mom ran shop there. She would make soup and every day, and her soups were great.
Yeah.
We didn't, we burned dogs, we made shakes, we had good soup. The truckers would come in.
Yeah, exactly.
It was but I really love my mom, and everybody we would just hang out and bullshit all day, and it was all genuine.
Yeah.
And I think that's why. It was going it went good. We would have 4 deep at lunch.
Damn.
Back in the day.
I've never been it, but when you mentioned it, we take Route 5 all the time, and I always drive by it, and I'm always
well, everybody goes to Red Top, which is it's a little more easily, right by Hoax there or whatever.
Yeah.
So we were that was the first restaurant battle I was ever in. It was Red Top against Curt's, but
oh really?
Nah, in my mind. In my mind. Damn, you guys are so busy.
Oh man.
Nah. So then my mom went to when she got divorced, and her husband owned that actually, and kind of it all kind of fell apart at some point, and so she was waiting tables at the Town restaurant on Allen right here.
Oh, okay, yeah, right down the street.
And I used to work at the Town, so that was my next job. Yeah. the town with my mom. So we did that.
Yeah.
We were a team for a while.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a town. I feel like. I mean, you probably work some crazy hours.
Now, so town back in the 80s, or like late 80s, early 90s was like there was no panos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like, and Alan, it was like brunch. You do 350, 400 for brunch.
Wow.
And it was crazy. But now, like, I went to the town. I don't know. Within the last 3 years, I know it was a joke. You know?
Yeah, it's not.
It's. I can't believe they're still open.
Yeah, it's not my go-to place, and I live, 2 houses.
A block away, or you're a 9 iron away.
Yeah, so
I don't know, but so back I saw.
Yeah, so I mean, what? So I mean, you're working.
I was the toast guy, dude.
The toast.
That was my job.
Wow, I didn't know there was a special job just to toast.
That was my job.
Yeah.
English muffins, bagels, rye, wheat, mashing them up, making sure it's all working.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I had a screen. That was my job. And literally, the egg guy and the grill guy got into a fight, and the guy stabbed the guy during Sunday brunch.
Oh, my God.
I'm not kidding you. Blood on the thing, everything. And it was a battlefield promotion. I was the egg guy, like, the next day.
Wow.
And then here we go.
So, I mean, what about this, like, were you doing this just because your mom, or were you starting to actually enjoy
this was a job, you know what I mean? Back then, it was like, I needed a job.
Yeah.
I had an apartment.
Yeah.
I had an apartment my senior year.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I had to pay the bill. So it was never about, like, oh, I love cooking.
Yeah, you love the art of cooking.
No.
This was...
Like, all my buddies be going out, I'd be going to work or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but whatever.
But, I mean, it's something that you knew, so you knew you could get a job.
I knew I could get a job.
Yeah.
That's what it was, yeah. And I was psyched.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
I could always get a job. Then I went from there to Panos.
Oh, okay.
Natural.
Yeah.
Natural. When Pano had his 3 booths and 8 bar stools or whatever in that little, I think it's a...
it was like a house at one point, basically.
Yeah, it was right across from my apartment on Elmwood. It was, what was it? It was the falafel bar for a little while.
Oh, okay. Yes,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
I had no idea that was Pano's.
That used to be Pano's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was me, Pano, and a couple of other dudes.
Nice.
And at night it'd be like me and a waitress, and that's it. You just have fights. I worked 11 to 7.
Saw some pretty
weekends, saw a little bit of everything.
God, I can only imagine.
And how is that like, oh, this is what I want to do the rest of my life?
Yeah?
I just don't see how how we get from there to here. But
Yeah, I mean, at what point did you like flip the switch and go all in?
It was weird. I got out of Buffalo.
Yeah.
Which was a key. My buddy got into college out in Utah State.
Okay.
In 90.
Okay.
Like 90, 91. And I went with him just because, whatever.
You just wanted to get
do
out?
Something. His parents said they would pay for my way out there.
There you go.
They liked me. And I got a job. First, I got a job at a place called Angie's, which was like Denny's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, and I got fired from there. I remember thanking the guy because I was partying all night up in the canyon with my, and I tried to call in sick, and he's like, we're just gonna take you off the schedule. I was like, thank you so much. So in that limbo, I got a job at a place called The Grapevine, which was, the chef was Bill Oblock. And it was an old renovated house. Yeah. This guy was doing stuff, you know what I mean? He had a really nice menu and everything. Yeah. And I got the job through a friend, and you know what I mean? And I was his pantry guy. I just had no real. Yeah, this was I just needed a job.
Yeah, but what they were doing was a little step above what you had been.
Oh yeah, big step above for sure. Yeah. Everything I had been was like Greek diner. Egg guy. Yeah. Hot dog guy.
Hey, that's still delicious.
Yeah, and I still can't drive by like a Ted's hot dog. I have to pull in.
That's great.
So yeah, Chef Bill, like, I don't know, first time I ever made a vinaigrette, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So now he's doing everything from scratch, and he's a great guy, and he and I connected right away, and like I helped him at his place, and so I was I'm a good worker. I was a good employee. And but that was the first time where I was like, holy shit, there's more to this than,
I just don't have to make something just to get through the day.
So I have to get a paycheck. That was when I started looking into culinary school. So I was like, well, these guys, I've been doing this. It's the only thing I know how to do.
Yeah.
And now I've seen there's so much more to it. So I started looking into different culinary schools, and I was a ski kid. That's why I was in Utah. I was a snowboard, so I went. It's funny when I hear about I got accepted into culinary school. Yeah, no shit. Yeah. Oh, okay. But New England Culinary accepted my application. Surprisingly. But that was in Montpelier, and that's when it really took off.
Yeah. I mean, did you know what you were getting into? Like, I'm assuming the guy you worked for went to school himself or something like that?
I don't know, actually, thinking back, because it's been a while. Yeah. I don't know if he was a school guy or not. I remember talking to him about my decision and stuff.
Yeah.
He had some good training, obviously.
Okay,
he was a good chef, yeah.
But, I mean, so you're going into the school, like, at this point, were you like, this is what I want to do? Like, you had, like, realized, like, this is...
Yeah, I was with him about 2 years, so a year and a half or so.
Okay.
And had seen like enough to know, like, I was feeling it. You know what I mean? Like, I was good at it, and I felt like this is something I want to do. And I had a girlfriend in Utah she had my back, that was it, man. I was on board.
Yeah. So how was your school experience? Was it something where you started doing it and you're like, I see this is a benefit, or were you like, what the hell am I doing?
No, I definitely was I love school. I thought it was, because for me, I had been cooking for years, since I was a kid, since I was 15, you know what I mean? And just no idea when you get into culinary school, for me, I learned more about the who, what, and why, and where's, and what's happening, you know what I mean? Like, it felt like everything, like a lot of the blanks got filled in for me.
Because you'd be doing things and you knew what to do,
and
but
emulsification, I didn't know exactly, what the protein strands in the egg yolk would do with olive oil or whatever it was. Those kind of things to me it felt like I just been living like at half speed a little bit. Yeah, like someone just opened up some shades. So that was great, and the relationships and the people, and the camaraderie. For me, it was a great experience.
Yeah, we've had, I think, probably almost half a dozen chefs who've went like to school, and they all like pretty much loved it and swear by it, because it's a weird thing in the chef community.
I quit smoking weed for 2 years for culinary
school. That's how serious you got.
I'm spending my own money.
But I mean, like, it's one of the craziest things, though, because in the chef community, there's like people who swear by training, and then there's another section who think like you should just go out there. And it's one of the only professions where like there's an argument against going to school,
which I actually argue every day.
Really?
Which, it's funny. I mean, you know what? It's a hard one to call. For these young guys, I have young guys in my kitchen that want to, like, some guys want to go to New England Culinary. It's like a $50,000 or $60,000 commitment, right?
Yeah, you're
for a 2-year associate's degree.
Yeah. And,
really?
Yeah. And I mean, entry level salaries.
And then when you're done with that, right, you've got your internship.
Yeah.
And you're working salads, just like he's working salads right now in my kitchen. But the intangibles, you know what I mean? Like everything that comes with culinary school, the networking, my 2 internships, the travel that I spent 12 years out of Buffalo traveling, and rolling with guys that I went to culinary school that are so passionate.
Yeah.
For years in Buffalo, you could never replace that.
Yeah.
In the city of Buffalo.
Yeah. Do you think that's changing now? I mean, we've had like, James Roberts and Steve Gedra and people like you.
Studs. Yeah, there's studs in Buffalo
there's definitely it seems like there's a place to to teach young upcoming chefs in Buffalo now.
And I
where
agree.
like a 22-year-old kid would be like, I gotta go to Chicago or New York City. Now there's a little bit more opportunity that.
I think so. I think it's still.
Obviously,
it's still to a young chef's benefit to get out of town.
Oh God, yeah.
Work in Chicago, work in New York, work in wherever
Yeah.
you want to work. Work in ski towns like I do.
Yeah.
But but if you have a family, you're kind of like you're grounded in Western New York, which there's obviously nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah, I agree. I think. It's hard to get in Gedra's kitchen to work with him.
Yeah, I mean, it was like 3 people back
how's a young intern get to work with Steve Gedra? I don't know. But, Mike A's, I think those kitchens are great.
Yeah.
I just got a call from New England Culinary today for some local kid who's graduating or looking for his internship and wants to work at Bacchus. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, which is awesome for sure.
Yeah.
But I think there's more available now than ever.
Yeah.
And it's just going to get better.
Yeah, I mean, we've only been doing the blog for, I think it'll be 4 years coming up. And in those 4 years, like, what Buffalo's dining scene was compared to what it is now is not even close. Like, it just seems like there's so much more, there's such a passion. And, like, and the customers are more willing to try different things and stepping outside their boundaries.
Yep.
And it's
I agree. I think... well, obviously, I left Buffalo in 90 or 91 and came back in 2002.
Okay.
And I think, like, I left Buffalo, and Buffalo was like, my mom would always tell me, if you with those table manners, you'll never eat at the Park Lane was always you'll never eat at the Park Lane. And I was like, and that was it in Oliver's. Those were the two big dogs, back in the day. And then even when I returned in 2001, it was like Hutch and, I don't know, it was pretty limited. Mother, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
there wasn't much happening.
Yeah.
But it's come a long way, which is really cool. I think Krista's been a big part of that.
Oh, God, Krista.
Well, Krista's like this conduit, but there's so much going on. That she's got a lot to connect with. So
I joked that we should have a Krista drinking game because I think most of our guests at one point say something nice. Cheers to that. But so in the 12 or so before 2001, like, so where are you going around after you get out of school?
So there's 2 internships with New England Culinary, and they're like 6-month internships. So you're 6 months in school.
Okay.
6 month on intern.
Yeah.
And blah, blah. So Nantucket was my first one out on the island. Worked for a chef named Everett Reed at American Seasons.
Okay.
Which was a really great. The concept was American food, seasonal, 4 regions. New England, New Orleans, Northern California, or whatever.
Okay.
So he had his menu was broken up into groups, and
that's kind of cool.
It was cool, and he was a great chef, and like all my chefs, I kind of connected with him. And
nice.
I'd be working at his house or whatever, just doing whatever.
Yeah.
He was a great chef, and I remember at the time. What was the show? It was on like PBS. It was way before Food Network, but there was a food show. Shoot, maybe I might think of it later. But
we'll do some.
It was like
later.
Great Chefs. Great Chefs was the name of the show. So he was on this show, Great Chefs, at the time, and for a couple of his dishes. Nice. But I had a ton of friends that were on the island too, and it was a fun summer.
Nice.
Back to school, and then. Sweet Basil in Vail was my second internship.
Loving that ski country.
Yeah, that was that was it. Vermont, Utah, and that really drew me to this. That's what I saw in the business, and when I was in Utah, and that's what I saw as an opportunity to travel. Was my whole thing was like, I can work in these resort towns and build my resume. And work for these great chefs, because you can live in a small town and have this cosmopolitan menu because that's your clientele. You know what I mean? It's like these people are coming in from big cities and stuff. So, so you get the best of both worlds. And so that was because I wanted to see everything. I wanted to see every ski town.
That makes sense. That sounds like a fun time.
And some great kitchens along the way. So Sweet Basil, was my second internship, and I stayed there for like 8 years.
Oh, wow.
And I wound up running the kitchen, and I went from like the second pastry assistant to chef de cuisine.
Wow.
At the end of the day. So I stayed there a while. They opened a couple of places, and I opened a couple of places in between in St. Louis and down Valley from Vail.
Oh, wow.
The owners opened up some new places. So that was the majority of my experience.
Yeah. What made you come back to Buffalo?
Family.
Family?
Yep.
You're just like missing?
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
It's weird. I always took my vacation would always be to Buffalo.
Uh-huh.
My father had a little bit of a scare,
Yeah.
His doctors are saying his heart and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, well, you can only be a ski bum for so long.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I moved home, I think it was 2002.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, did you have a job lined up, or were you just coming here figuring you'll find something?
I figured, I'd find something.
Yeah. So where did you end up right when you got back?
First thing when I got back, I grew up with Tucker Curtin.
Oh, okay.
Out at the Steer.
Yeah. A bunch of places.
What's that?
He's got a bunch of places.
Yeah, exactly. But back then, he just had the Steer.
Yeah.
And he didn't even have the diner or whatever. But
Yeah.
So, I spent like a month spreading resumes around town.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I hit all the spots.
Yeah.
And then Tuck had been bugging me for years. Like, he has this college bar. And, and I was like, no, Tuck, I won't work in your kitchen. No. But, he's so driven. You know what I mean? And I needed a job. I needed to make some money. And so I worked for Tuck for like 6 weeks. Which was awesome. We cleaned and we organized. We talked about like some menu stuff. And I could tell that he was serious. He was driven and he was serious about putting out the best thing he could. But at the same time, I had already put out those resumes. Oliver's called me, and Mike Andrzejewski was opening Tsunami.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
yeah. Those are two pretty...
yeah. So how do you turn down Henry Garino and being the executive chef at Oliver's?
Yeah.
for helping Tucker out at the Steer, but so that's where we split ways, and I did the Oliver's thing.
Dude, we've talked about this with like Ed Forrester and people like that. Oliver's is like has built Buffalo's dining scene.
It's insane, right? If you look at the pedigree that comes out of there.
Yeah.
Sweet Basil was like that in Vail too. Sweet Basil over that time like generated chefs and front of the house guys that opened up probably like 60% of Vail's restaurants. Someone had been through that restaurant. And, And Oliver's is like that too.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you can like literally just put a chart and everyone's connected by at least two.
Yeah, you could do it for sure.
So how did Bacchus then come into the picture? How did that get started?
Bacchus was a little bit down the road. So Oliver's.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know.
We did. I wasn't at Oliver's for long.
Okay.
It was a great opportunity.
Yeah.
I was kind of single, young, getting after it.
Yeah.
And my food was great. I was the first chef to get 4 stars at Oliver's.
Nice.
Think about that. That's my big claim to fame.
Yeah, that's like
all the guys that went through there, I guess.
Nice.
So, but either way, I was overwhelmed by it because of the huge catering aspect to it that I wasn't used to.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, you never think of that. Like, at least I don't think of it.
Right, when you think about Oliver's, but that's huge for him. He does, he's got every place in town. He's got the Historical Society, Klein Hands.
Yeah, that's serious, yeah.
It's big.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a great experience, obviously,
God, yeah.
And a great introduction into Buffalo dining scene for me.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, then I opened up a place in Williamsville called Marinaccios.
Okay.
Which was short-lived. I think I was there for 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
2 years. which was fun. It was an Italian place.
Yeah.
Like, I got to make sausage and do all the pasta and do everything from scratch. And it was
Nice.
And I still do that on Sundays, like all that.
Oh, yeah?
Well, if my wife asks for it. But, and then Tempo
Okay.
with Jenke and Hutch
Oh, yeah, yeah.
when they opened. And that's where I met my wife.
Oh, okay.
She was managing Tempo then, and she managed, since, like, she used to manage Hutch's or wait tables at Hutch's.
Oh, okay.
Managed Tempo, managed Left Bank,
Wow.
and now she's at home with the kids.
Nice. Nice.
Which I feel bad for you, honey. So yeah, and then in 2005, Bacchus.
Okay.
2005.
Now, my knowledge of Buffalo's dining scene's only in the last couple of years. Did you open Bacchus, or was it?
No, it was opened in 2002, 2000. I think we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary.
Oh, very cool.
This fall.
Okay.
So they had run it a few years before I got there.
Okay.
You know, I don't know who the chef
Yeah.
was before. I forget the guy's name. But
so it had a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you didn't have to cold start open it from scratch.
yeah, I mean, when we came in, unfortunately, whoever was running it didn't go well the first few years, and the reputation had kind of slid a little.
Oh, okay. So you had to go in there.
So we had the opposite. We didn't have the benefit of opening and making an impression.
Oh, okay.
We had to turn the impression around.
Oh, okay. I'm assuming that's probably way more difficult to do.
It is, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And in that venue too, like downtown, there's not a lot of restaurants down by on Chippewa.
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask.
Back then, I guess there was very.
I mean, yeah. Then Chippewa was literally just the place.
Just the bars.
Yeah, just the
Papaya
bars.
wasn't even there. I don't.
Yeah,
think.
yeah. That's only
Nothing.
Yeah. I mean, was that somewhat of a challenge? Because I was gonna ask you, how was getting there and trying to make people think you can go to Chippewa for more than just
right
clubbing on a Friday night.
Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously that was our biggest challenge. I thought was trying to turn that public perception around about Bacchus. And just even eating on Chippewa Street.
Yeah.
We have the benefit of just having such a great space and
it's gorgeous.
And a great, you know what I mean? And back when the Goldmans ran it, and it was the Calumet Arts Cafe or whatever.
Okay.
There was a restaurant there before us.
Okay.
It was more of a bar kind of jazz club kind of thing.
Yeah,
It had a cool vibe like all Goldman's places do. It was like Hardware meets Chippewa, basically.
All right.
So, I mean, there was that vibe, but it was hard. Yeah, it was definitely hard. That was a big challenge.
Was back then, was it still focused on being a wine bar as well? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when it was reopened as Bacchus, it was wine bar 100%. That was our focus, yeah.
How, I mean, were you previous to this a big wine connoisseur?
Oh, well, I have a working knowledge of wine as a chef. And I drink whiskey. Mostly. Yeah. My wife is a huge wine connoisseur, and we both enjoy wine. Okay. But I defer all that to Susan and Steve, my partner, and Mike DePew, who's one of Buffalo's only certified sommeliers, put that wine program together. Oh, okay. And that's kind of their brainchild, and I took that concept and ran with it.
Okay, yeah. Because, I mean, I know a lot of the food is geared towards pairing and things like that. So it's just a constant work back and forth with you and
Yeah, and I think, really it just starts out with, back in 2005 or whenever we started to we were doing next to nothing, I remember. Yeah. Games of hoops with paper wads in the kitchen during service. But, we just plug away at it and just genuine every day. Just really good food and good pairings and no advertising.
No.
Zero. Just word of mouth, you know what I mean? So slowly it kind of came around. So.
When did you start feeling that things had...
In 2008, 2009. Okay. Things had obviously grown to the point where, we grew by an average of about 10 to 15% every year from 2005 to 2010.
Okay.
So we had double our sales by the time,
Nice.
in 5 years, but that jump up from 2008 to 2009, something just happened. I think we got valet parking. I think that, honestly, I think that was a big deal for those suburban, coming in.
Yeah, they don't want to find parking.
I just think it doesn't matter if it's Chippewa at 6 o'clock at night.
Oh God, yeah.
They picture it at 4 a.m. like, you can't get any parking down there. You might get shot.
Yeah. Hey, no, I deal with that.
They see it as this, but that doesn't happen until after we close it usually at midnight, 1 o'clock, and then the street blows up. So
yeah, no, I mean, hell, even just us living in the city and telling our parents who live out in Orchard Park.
Yeah, sure.
It's like
so
Yeah, I know the pain of explaining.
Hey, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you that the valet parking, funny enough, seems to have helped a lot, and just. It's kind of organic. It just grows, and then you get those people, and then we're in the entertainment district. We're right there for Shays. So,
oh God, yeah.
So we see that's where we get that blast of people. They have a great experience, and then it just kind of slowly.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so for the menu, I know it's there's a lot of focus on small plates and kind of sharing dishes and things like that. Was that something that you wanted to do from the start, or is that something that's kind of
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely, when I took over, I just kind of, it was funny, I had to cook the menu that was there for a week, or maybe it was 10 days or something, and just kind of threw it all out and started over, and I was lucky to work with a great team then, with this guy, Mike Depew, and it was just... The room was right, the team was right. We just had to put it together and do it. And the menu was focused for that space. This hasn't been, Bacchus is my life and my passion. It drives me every day.
Yeah.
But it was not my brainchild or my dream, and I never, I wasn't a kid I want to open a wine bar.
Yeah.
But we're so proud about what we do there every day. You know what I mean? So and that's why it works.
You should. I mean, we finally got to eat there this year because we eat a lot of places. And
I know.
And so but I remember going to a Nickel City Chef, and I saw you guys. I saw you competing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I told Ellie, I was like, we need to finally go there. This is ridiculous.
Cool. Yeah. And, Nickel City Chef has been also.
Yeah.
What a great exposure for Bacchus and for obviously a lot of local chefs.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. But that's the best, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love the Nickel City Chef event.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But so this year, was there a couple of changes to the restaurant? I noticed that there's some major.
Yeah, there's a lot of work going on there.
Yeah, so I mean, what was going on this summer as far as that?
We took over the third room, the old bar. I don't know, did you ever drink on Chippewa?
A couple times, yes.
Well, you're younger than
I was 21.
Back in the day, third room and La Luna and that back patio was always kind of a hot spot, and they always played old school beats. And it was always a good spot. But we have New World now, and a law firm, Kenny Liptak, Nowak, and Sheldon moved upstairs, top 2 floors.
Okay.
Last 2 years they've been renovating the space upstairs.
Okay.
So it's done now. They're moved in.
Wow.
There's a new courtyard and patio area.
Yeah.
We built out what used to be the third room into our private dining room space.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, we're so proud of it. You look at. We had these guys. It's funny when you do that stuff because, you're talking with contractors and designers.
Yeah.
And, all these guys, and you're looking at stuff on paper. At the end of the day, you really don't know. You just get dizzy.
Yeah,
right? Because there's a lot going on. And then, guys show up and start working on it. So we had gutted that space.
Yeah.
And this guy, Drew, and his team, it was Omnicraft was the name of his company, and they're just these carpenters / just some of the best craftsmen I've ever seen. They built out this ceiling. It's all this recessed cool lighting, you know, like tons of wood and really intricate soffits, faucets, whatever.
Yeah.
And they did it in 10 days. They built the whole space out, and it was just amazing to watch them do it.
Damn.
But at the end of the day, man, it was just like, the space is awesome. It holds like about 80 people. 75.
Oh, wow.
It's for a sit-down, 70 to 80 people.
That's a lot of people.
And then for cocktails, you know, a little bit more than that. And then in the spring of 2013, we're doing a glass wall out to the courtyard. We're going to blow it all out, do it all like kind of a indoor-outdoor space there.
That'll be very cool.
Yeah, which is going to be great.
That'll be huge in the summertime. And...
I agree. Yeah. So then we really want to, spring 2013, and look out because we're thinking the courtyard's going to be finished. We're going to have a bar out there, fire pit kind of areas, and
nice.
It's all set up, man. It's going to be pretty sweet.
That's sweet. That's exciting stuff.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff. Thanks for bringing that up.
Oh, no problem.
A lot of stuff going on at Bacchus. Renovations we've been chipping away at for like 2.5, 3 years. And are starting to. Final, they're starting to be finished. So so it's awesome. It's like 3 times the space. We redid our kitchen.
Wow,
blew that out. Like blew down 5 walls.
Jeez,
a brand new 20-foot hood with all.
Oh, so you get new toys and stuff.
Dude,
like
crazy new toys. And I was like, I wish I was like you guys. I should be tweeting all this stuff. Like, check out my new toys. But yeah, it was pretty sweet. Like you'd walk in, like the old kitchen was pretty rough shape, to say the least.
Right.
And we had to gut the floor. Like you walk in the kitchen delivery door, and it's just right into the basement, just empty.
Wow.
Yeah, so we gutted everything. We had to build everything from the ground up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of work.
Hopefully it's paying off and all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, hell, who knows? It's the restaurant business. Who knows? Either way, I've got a really nice floor in my kitchen.
Nice. So we touched on the Nickel City Chef. How did that get started? Because I saw that you were in the first ever Nickel City Chef against Krista.
That's another thing I'm proud of.
Yeah, the first one ever against Krista. Yeah. So how did that start? Because I know eventually you took over when Paul Jenkins left. Because he was.
Yeah, I took over for Paul.
Okay, and that was after season 2?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Was it after season 2?
Or was it 1?
Might have been right after. He might have only just been in for the first season.
Okay.
But I don't remember.
Yeah. I was trying to find it. I couldn't look it up.
No, but that sounds right because I only did the one. I've been in every year.
Yeah.
And I did the one as a challenger, and then the next one I was a Nickel City.
Okay,
chef.
So it must have been after the first year then.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved with that? How did that? I mean, obviously
I put an application in.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone's having a cooking battle. I want in.
Yeah.
So Krista picked me. Drink.
Good job. Oh man.
I think for whatever reason.
Yeah. And so did she come to you when she knew Paul was going to step down, or? Yeah,
we had lunch at the library downtown, and she asked me to take over for Paul, and I was obviously more than happy to do that. Paul's a busy guy, so
oh god, yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't have much going on. Do that all day.
How has the competitions been? Like, I mean, obviously. You've done maybe 4 now, plus like Taste of Buffalo thing and whatnot.
Yep.
I mean, has it gotten to a point where
I feel pretty comfortable doing it? I was involved in another. It was out at Frog Hair. They had like the best chef, or
okay.
I think it was more of a round robin thing where there's start with 16 chefs, and so I had like 8 battles there, and then that's before I had the Nickel City thing.
Okay.
So that was fun. And
yeah.
I like the competition. We're always up against it in the kitchen for sure.
Yeah.
And there's always guys in every kitchen I've worked at after you have like where you do that huge number and it goes well and everybody's clicking.
Yeah.
I put this team up against any kitchen, you know what I mean? Everybody's I don't know, maybe that's just me. I'm a rah kind of guy.
I like that.
But yeah, so you always want to see how you stack up, I guess.
Yeah. have you noticed the competition getting better over the years? Like, it seems like people are like getting really serious. I mean, it's going into its 5th year, so like the word has been out. People have been watching the videos. Right. I mean, have you noticed any of that? Or
well, what I see, I don't know, to be honest with you. I think she's going to run into a problem. We're going to have to start challenging different cities pretty soon.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, not to say that there aren't tons of qualified chefs in the city, but, I mean, how many battles can you have where you bring in new blood?
Yeah. And, I mean, the names that have been on there are awesome names. Yeah.
Everybody who's been there is awesome.
Yeah.
So now...
Yeah.
But then if you
Yeah.
I don't know. How many top 20 chefs can you name?
Yeah, because I mean, this is probably going into...
I mean, you were talking about...
That was 20, yeah. There's 20 of them. Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's
there's that, and not to take away from anything that's going on there, but I think Buffalo can challenge...
like a big city like Toronto,
yeah. Yeah, I think we take
sweet.
This show to Toronto for sure.
That would be awesome.
Is the next step. But, I mean, and you can bring any group of chefs that you want to that venue because, like we were talking about earlier, Buffalo's got a great culinary scene going. Yeah. The chefs are, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to those events, like, you'll see a couple of dudes just sitting in the back with, like, just, like, little incognito.
I'm talking for the other chefs. I'm not talking I'm going to go cook in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Go bring Gedra and James Roberts over there.
Yeah.
Kick their butts. But, I'll help them logistically, however I can.
Yeah, but I mean, it seems like it's been really fun. I mean, we finally went to 2 this year, and the atmosphere and like everything is just, it's so cool to see people excited to see chefs like in that atmosphere.
You can't beat it.
No,
you really can't, and it really shines a light on our local scene here.
Yeah,
and she's been doing that, and then you bring in these new people, like you bring in these new restaurants, new chefs, and everybody's excited, and
it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's fun.
That's awesome. So I guess we'll wrap it up. I mean, what do you? We talked about the new renovations and things coming to Bacchus. Like, I know when I watched that Nickel City Chef video, you said that you also pride yourself in like being a mentor to all the young kids that are around you. Mm-hmm. I mean, what are your goals going forth with Bacchus and things like that? Do you want to have your own version of Oliver's where you're pushing out these kids to?
No, well, actually, that's a pretty good question. I think maybe I shouldn't say no so fast. I talk to my guys. I want them to open restaurants. You know what I mean? And I just want them to do, to use this as an opportunity, the opportunity it is.
Yeah.
Not that just cooking with me or just cooking, period. Mm-hmm. It seems like it's a business that attracts people who maybe don't take the normal, road to success. You know what I mean? And maybe it's not, but it is a great avenue to do it. If you're passionate about it and you're driven. I mean, I want to see these guys open restaurants. I want to see them open a restaurant right down the street. It's like, but
see, that's like the new vibe that's in Buffalo is that competition. Like, this is a small city, and there's competition, but like everyone just wants everybody else to raise everybody up. Like,
absolutely, and the guys in my kitchen, these guys all from the east side.
Nice.
You know what I mean? They're all from the same neighborhood. I've had everybody in this neighborhood work for me, and these kids have been with me 8 years.
Okay.
I got 2 kids from that neighborhood or 2 guys that could run a kitchen in any kitchen in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Just they're solid guys, and they'll do great things someday. And I hope that we can churn out some more chefs out of there, and maybe open a egg place downtown.
There you go.
Gotta serve some eggs downtown.
Yeah, true that. I'm game for that.
Yeah.
But awesome. Well, Brian, you're doing an awesome job at Bacchus, and when the meal we had this year was one of the best meals we had, and I gotta say you're doing a kick-ass job. So
come on, Donnie.
I'm serious, man. I'm serious.
Well, thank you.
It was awesome. I mean, you know what happened? We saw the Nickel City Chef competition, Allie's parents, my wife, went there like 1 week and started sending us pictures of the food. Like,
don't you love that?
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah. Me and Allie are like at some other restaurant, and her phone just starts blowing up, and I'm like,
"That's funny.
Where the hell are they eating?" And they have season tickets to Shays, so they stopped.
So there
by.
you go. So that's
And me and Allie were like,
outreach.
So me and Allie were like, all right, next week, like we're not waiting any longer, and it was fantastic.
Good, I'm glad.
So, but yeah, keep up the great work, and
you too, man. You're Buffalo's best blog. Is that correct?
Hopefully, maybe next year. I lost this year.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, to Buffalo Rising. But it's
unbelievable.
It's Buffalo Rising.
I know exactly.
I'm just happy to be here. So
it's nice to be in the conversation,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Well, you're doing a great job, man.
No, thank you.
It's cool reaching out to you guys.
Thank you so much, man.